Hi, good morning, people. Today is Friday. Um, Tomorrow I'll be holding Chama, which is a women's meeting. We have a family Chama. Kenyans would know, and those who maybe stayed here a bit would know. We usually uh, group up a number of women who have a commonality, and then we form a group where we can save together, where we can pull money together and lend out to people. And in the recent years, we can also invest. Sometimes the chamas are formed for, it may be because you live in a common area, your neighbors. It may be because you're relative. In this case, for us, we are all relatives. It may be because you're in the same church, because you go to the same office. Just if, as long as there's a commonality that brings you together. And then sometimes there are many chamas that are formed in markets when people operate from the same market. But those ones, because people have a lot of liquid cash, contributions are usually daily. Ours is we all live far apart, and some have children, family responsibilities, and not everyone is working. I mean, formally employed. So we make monthly contributions. So chamas vary. There are chamas that are for weekly contributions. There are some for daily contributions. There are some for monthly. Others are I don't know if there are some for bi-monthly. There are others which are bi-weekly. And then the amounts range. There are chamas for 50 shillings up to even 10,000 and before, and 50,000 even. But what matters is that the purpose is to pull money together, and then one or several people are take turns to receive the money in cash. Then you can do your development. You can do your household purchases. You can do whatever you want. If it's for food, then when in some chamas you ballot, others have usually there's a ballot system either at the start of the chama year or period. A period is a whole circle is when everybody has received the dividend or the share. So within a circle, you take a ballot, and according to your turn, when your turn passes, you're ticked off for receiving whatever kind of dividend is available, whether it's money or whether it's food or whether it's goods or whatever it is, or investment, receiving a share of the investment. Chamas have seen people getting chicken, startup chicken equipment, and chicken themselves, pigs, cows. I mean, at various levels, people get various items that benefit them. In the village, sometimes women will use their chamas to be able to make sure that every member gets a minimum number of chickens. Probably a chicken coop is, you construct the chicken coop yourself, I guess, in one round of the chama. And then you're given the chicken stock to start. And then you can be buying food for yourself, but that ensures you have continuous income and at the same time food. Sometimes it's about getting goods, and the private sector and government have taken up and gone in to support the chama system, so that you find that for example, there are loans that are specifically given to chamas. There are banking facility, should I call them facilities or products, that are specifically given to chama members. On the whole, women in Kenya are more prone to be in a chama, and I can say up to um, probably 60 or 70% of the chamas in Kenya are women-led, wholly women-run, but there are chamas, of course, for men now. It doesn't mean that they're exclusively out of chamas, but women on the whole are most and more reliant on chamas for an income and for financial development and homestead development. Chamas have bought women plates Chamas have helped women buy not just utensils, but furniture, improve their households, educate children. I'll keep saying women, but with intention that also men have benefited from Chamas, but on the large, on a larger scale, women have done a lot with Chamas. There are Chamas that have bought women water tanks. I mean, these are water tanks upwards of 50,000, but because of the Chamas, either directly through the investment or through benefiting from beneficiaries like corporates and NGOs, which step in sometimes to work with Chamas and to assist them through grants or loans. So this weekend I'll be hosting my own Chama. My own Chama, we've invested in the money market. We have we have bought ourselves items. We've educated children. We've walked a big distance in helping in welfare issues in the family, and it's also a way for us to get together because every second month, we have to meet because a lot of people have more and more commitments. It used to be monthly, now it's bi-monthly. We have to meet at one person's house, and that person will host us, will cook, we'll have breakfast, or let's say brunch. We'll serve brunch and we'll serve lunch and 10 o'clock tea, and then we'll have our financial matters set, and it will be a meetup, a good time to meet up. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And again, I always encourage young women, even men. I mean, it's so sad, but a lot of Kenyan men are sitting idle with the excuse of they don't work. Very many women. I can say a vast majority of the women in Kenya who are in Chamas and who have uplifted themselves and their families are not formally employed. They are in equal status with the men. Some have little education, but in Kiswahili we say kujituma. They take initiative, they send themselves to look for opportunities. But I mean, and they do very well. You make sure you have your 50 shillings every day, you have your 100 shillings every day, you have your 200 every week, you have your 1,000 every month. It is through initiative, personal initiative, will, resilience, hard work, effort. If more men did this, because what has happened is that over time, as men have realized how resilient and committed women are to Chamas, a lot of men have taken advantage of their spouses, of their girlfriends, borrowing money. I saw this phone flashing. Anyway, borrowing money from their spouses and from their girlfriends, and then misusing that money and making the relevant Chama members get into a lot of trouble. And well, I can't talk on behalf of those people because it's also out of choice for you to borrow money in a loan and go and give a man, whoever he is to you, whether it's a brother, whether it's a sibling, a spouse, a husband, whatever. But the thing is that if more men would get up and commit to being in Chamas, it would be so helpful for the economy. I mean, if Chamas were considered like a business district in Kenya, I guess they'd stand in the same footing with Isili Market, which is, I must say, the most thriving business district in the whole country, maybe in East Africa. So that's the importance of what Chamas are to not just to individuals, but to the country's economy and to making homes better and to raising the living standards of many homes in Kenya and to enabling women and ultimately making this country a bit wealthier in so many aspects. So I'm here sewing. I saw a lot of clothes, not designing, but just sewing, repairing by hand. This is something I've done for years and which I like so much. I enjoy so much. I have a machine, but I'm in the process of learning how to use it. Then I can start practically creating stuff from the start. But this I use for resizing, for repairing, and not just clothes, also bags. I can repair a shoe if I put myself to it. I have the tools. I'm just interested. And it's a hobby that I have. And yeah, so today I in preparation because after the graduation party for my son, and after returning everything and doing washing of clothes and everything, I'm now arranging stuff in preparation for just neatening the house and taking it back to the state that it should be in as usual. And oh, let me show you. This is where I keep my sewing stuff. It has my needles, my various threads, different colors, different colors. Then I have buttons and and, and stuff. Women, if you should not keep threads and needles lying around. Just get old containers, plastic, your old oils, your old blue band tins, your old baby milk, whatever. Get a good tin, a good container that is sealable, tightly sealable, and that is durable. Even if it falls or whatever, it remains safe, and then it's also waterproof because of the needles going rusty. Then keep it safe because needle injuries do happen because of people, the old style. What many people do at home is you're sewing and you finish sewing, or somebody has called you, and then you pin the needle here, and then you rush to greet your visitor or to do something, and then you come back, and either somebody has pulled off the thread or it has blended so much in the furniture and you forget where it was. Very dangerous. I'm not saying there's no time when I used to do that. Of course, there was a time. But over time, I found it so dangerous because there are several times when I totally lost a needle on the chair I was sitting on, and I could not move because I didn't know where it was and I could not see it. And thank God sometimes, or when children are around and these emergencies happen, because my children were always sharper eyed than I was. So they'd come and I'd tell them I'm just going to sit where I am, or I had to be pulled up very gently out of the chair. Sometimes I didn't want to move because I didn't even know whether they were on my clothes. Life happens. But out of habit, I made it mandatory that I'll always have a spool of thread, and I'll always put my needle back in the thread and thread it back on, and then safely store it in a tin or a box or a container or whatever kind of container, and close it, because an emergency might occur even to myself, caused by myself. So yes, please keep your sharp items far and neat. So I'm folding clothes today. I've done most of the general cleaning of the house, washed blankets, sheets, all that. And then later on, my Wi-Fi people are finally coming to sort my issue. This is so untidy. It's such a mess. I don't even want to keep on talking about it because I'm finding it so embarrassing for the parties, concerned parties who are doing this. And then I'm going to sort my internet issue. And yesterday I had done a bit of the planting, not planting, a bit of the retouching of some seedlings to enable them grow faster and better, mulching them. So today it's much hotter than it was yesterday. So around evening, I'll go and do, if I just do a bit every day, because now I'm home for longer hours. So I'm going to go and retouch, and I'm calling it retouch. It's not it's the seedlings, the plants. But I'm going to go and dig around them, add some more mulching, and do some watering. Some of them don't need daily watering. Of course, they are now a bit large, longer in size. taller. So, but what I'm going to do is when I do the mulching, just to give them a boost, I'm going to water them for today. And the mulching is going to hold the water up for probably a week. It will still be damp. Then that's going to help, because I also need to get new tree seedlings in beautification of the compound before we start our construction house expansion. So we didn't afford to beautify and to landscape the compound completely before we started construction because of financial constraints. But now that we've already started, I'm still going to go ahead with the landscaping while everything else is going on, because I know that helps so much. Once a tree grows to a certain level, that takes so much time. So you might as well start earlier. And when I go to buy my seedlings, I usually don't buy like less than a foot high. I prefer something like 2 to 3 feet tall seedlings. Then I can come and develop them further when they're already here. So let me continue with the folding of my clothes and arranging them. Then I'll do the dishes later as I wait for my people from the Wi-Fi supplier to come. And then I'll have you join me later on when I'm doing mulching of the remaining seedlings. Thanks.